All right, well, let's go out to Upper Marlboro, Maryland, not too far from where I grew up, and we'll talk to Myshell. Hi, Myshell. You're on the air. What's on your mind?
Hi, I definitely will be supporting your radio show. I supported it in the past, but I changed my bank account and I didn't reinstate. So when I
Oh,
get off the call today, I'll definitely support you 100%
oh, thank you.
because your radio station stopped me from committing suicide.
Mm,
I was going through 2 years ago. I was going through one of the worst experiences of my life,
mm,
and I called this radio station. I'm telling you, on Sundays,
mm,
and if it wasn't for your radio show, because I had no family, I had no friends, everyone walked out on me and turned their back on me.
mm,
But I had this radio show that I could call in and tell about how I felt and what I was going through, and it
mm,
was so horrible. And it was horrible that everyone left me during that time, but you didn't. And
mm,
your radio
mm,
station was there, and I called in,
mm,
and you gave me the best advice, and you saved my God's grace and mercy, and you
mm,
saved my entire life.
mm.
So I'm calling you to tell you that you got my support 100%, and I will share this with other people because sometimes a stranger can help you far more than people that you know, and I just want to thank you for that.
Mm.
But I was calling in today because I'm dealing with some other things because of what happened to me. I no longer trust people. I'm still kind and I'm generous and I'm good to people, but I'm for the first time in my life,
Mm.
I am very, very introverted.
Mm-hmm.
Very introverted
Okay.
because I don't trust anyone anymore.
Yeah.
And I've tried to reach out and be around people and all of that, but the moment I sense a negative experience, I back right back into the cubbyhole that I've placed myself in.
Right. All
So
right. Well,
I love the Lord, and He's the most important thing to me, but I need to stop being so isolated.
okay. Well, Michelle, first of all, thank you for calling and sharing what went on with you and your story and how we were able to be a part of that. Honestly, you brought me to tears here. I'm having a hard time continuing hearing that you nearly took your life and that God used this to really reach out to you. And I'm glad that you found some of the help you need. And I think as far as your current problem, your struggle with trusting people, you're isolated, feeling alone. In my experience, the very first step that you can take is looking back at the people that hurt you and caused you to hesitate, looking back at the people that caused you to hesitate to trust humanity. We can't always trust humans. I mean, you're smart to be suspicious and skeptical of other humans because we do often do things that aren't trustworthy. We betray each other, we hurt each other, and obviously you have been hurt in the past. And I think that the very first step would be to look back and really recognize the pain that occurred in your life and then to forgive those people that really betrayed you and hurt you. And what I mean by that is I don't mean you just say, okay, okay, I forgive them, or oh, don't worry about it, or oh, it's no big deal, or oh, I'll pray for them, or anything like that. But really to make a sincere decision where you take an hour out of your life and you sit down with God as your witness and you say, God, this person hurt me. They made me feel like I was betrayed. They made me feel alone. They made me feel like I had no friends. They made me feel like they stabbed me in the back. They made me feel like I was on my own, and it hurt so deeply and so badly. But I choose as an act of my will to forgive them and release them from anything they owe me. They owe me better treatment. They owe me an apology, but I may never get that apology. They may never recognize what they did to me. So I forgive them and I release them from anything that they owe me. Even if they do it again to me, I just let them off the hook. I'm not going to keep score about this. And my guess is, Michelle, that there may be 5, 10, 15 people, maybe more, that have hurt you deeply on that level and caused you to kind of want to be all alone, bottled up inside, away from community in order to protect yourself from future harm. It would be normal and natural for us to want to protect ourselves, hide away somewhere, away from the crowd, not risk anything, not take any chances, not reach out because we've been burned in the past. And so my thought for you is that you start by looking back at the people who hurt you so deeply, and then because you are a forgiving person in Christ, because God has given you a new heart, and because He's put new passions and desires within you, one of those passions, one of those desires is to forgive people and not keep score with them. And so I've got a book called The Hurt and the Healer. I don't know if you have this one yet.
Oh, yes, I have it, and it's a great book. And forgiveness frees you.
Yes.
And I have forgiven, but I think maybe my forgiveness goes back and forth. But it's a painful thing to realize that the people that you love so much, when you realize they didn't love you as much as you loved them,
Yeah.
and you're like, wow, I guess that was a really hard pill to swallow, that the
Right.
people, family and friends who I love so much and do anything for and have done anything for, when you realize that they didn't feel the same way about you, that's a painful thing. And I do walk in forgiveness, but I have to. You're right. I think sometimes in that department, I'm like Jonah. I go back and forth, and you can't do that.
Okay, well,
so.
there's a particular couple of chapters right in the middle of the book, and it's only about 5 or 6 pages long. And in there, you may want to just kind of review what it means to forgive. I mean, forgiveness doesn't mean that you forget about it. Forgiveness doesn't mean that it's a slow process that takes forever and you have to wait for your emotions to catch up and agree with you. But there are some choices that you can make, and maybe, just brainstorm. I mean, has God brought to mind every single person that really hurt you in these ways, or are there some people that you haven't yet thought of? And that resentment and bitterness may still be inside you to some degree in your attitudes, and then that causes you to pull away. It certainly would cause it would cause anyone to want to pull away and not take risks. And then, you brought up a great point. I mean, people are going to disappoint us. We have expectations. Hey, if I love you, you should love me back. If I love you to this degree and I'm invested in this relationship, then it's normal for me to expect a return on that. And then, lo and behold, we find out these created beings called our friends, these created beings called our family members, they really do disappoint at times, and it's because they're the creation. They're not the creator. And I'm so tempted to look at the creation, and really the only one that will never disappoint me is the creator himself. And he lives inside of you. He lives inside of you, and you need to know that and remember that he will never leave you, Myshell. He will never betray you. He will never disappoint you. He'll never stab you in the back. And he is, long term, he is really the only one that we can consistently lean on.
You are right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, thanks for taking time and calling in and being a part of the broadcast. I hope that was a little bit of an encouragement to you. And
it was absolutely great.
Well, I want you to call back anytime you feel like it, okay?
Okay, I will, and I will definitely be donating, and thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, my friend. Have a great day.